follow the trend, or create your own style. Today's episode on Beyond the Signs Podcast.
Welcome back. And it's a really cool topic for today. Really not controversial one, but I guess everybody has a different answer, right?
Absolutely. Like I can for sure say that I've been the one to follow my own style for such a long time, but sometimes trends could be great to follow, you know? But like I feel like where I want to like lead this topic in general and like my own personal opinion is when it's appropriate to follow a trend and versus to just stick with your style, right? So, and it's funny because like I have two examples to give, and one being like my own like Instagram and how I curated it for so many years is that with Instagram, you know how like every time there's a new feature, they would always try to make you use it, and those who use it will be bumped in the algorithm, right? For years, ever since I started Instagram, I only kept to posting pictures and posting stories. That's it, right? So like when people are like, oh, you should put videos and stuff, I'm like, I really don't want to put videos because I never liked how it looked on my grid, right? So when people would say, oh, like, but you won't rank on the algorithm, all this stuff, but I didn't want to conform to like a trend just because of like to bump up my own like my own page up on the algorithm. I follow my own style. Like this is what I like to do. Like I like to, and like there are certain trends like I would say like I did stick with, for example, like making sure like the 3 in a row. But like for me, it wasn't even 3 in a row. It was more or less like the whole page in a row, you know? It's kind of like it was this really nice curated like dark teal and orange theme that had like the punchy black, but like still like had some colors into it. So that's kind of like the style that I've been
and had
going
that
for.
Photoshop fantastical type of
the Photoshop. I think
style.
they're called Photoshop manipulation, if I believe correctly, where it's like literally manipulating the reality with fantasy and making it seem realistic when it's truly not. And that was kind of like my style. Like I did go with a trend like that, but I kept sticking to that style because that's the type of style I liked. I liked at the time, right? So what's your opinions?
Yeah, no, I agree with the fact that that's definitely what you had done for so long. And switching it up is sometimes not the best thing to do, like we said. It all depends on whether you're wanting to do this for yourself or whether you're trying to do this for a bigger purpose, I feel. Like in your own personal page, you didn't feel the need to stray away from your style just to follow a trend and use different features of the app that other people were using and getting more views on. Now, for our podcast, obviously it's video based. One, it's video based. 2, that is what performs better right now, are reels. So we've used that to our advantage with the podcast, which has been something that I'm grateful that we've been able to use to our advantage because this project and this, you know, what we're trying to do here is video based. For my own personal, you know, business page or like for ocean salts, like for example, I have not been good at, I've tried, but I haven't been that great at integrating videos and reels and things like that into my photography page because it is just that. It's my photography, because photography is still what I am most passionate about. I'm not converting into becoming a content creator. I'm not trying to convert into becoming a videographer or a filmmaker. I'm still trying to do photography. So with that, I find that even though it might be helpful for me to post more reels or say take more videos of behind the scenes of shoots and things like that and make them into reels, I've done a few of those. They do perform well. But is that my main focus when I go into a shoot is, oh, let me get video for my Instagram reel? Like, no. My focus is to do the best job that I can at whatever photo shoot I'm shooting and whatever project I'm a part of. Like, that your goal is to focus on what you're there to do and not what you should be doing to get the most likes and views on Instagram.
Right. And I think when it comes to personally stuff like that, right? For personal stuff, I think just not to follow the trend and stick to what your skills are. But however, right? And this is the only however, if you're trying to build a community,
yes,
and if you're trying to
exactly
do something bigger with a certain brand, right? I'm not saying with your personal page, but a certain brand. Like, for example, for us, it's Beyond the Signs Podcast, right?
Yes.
We've been testing out with the reels and shorts, and we've been seeing that a lot of people respond more to the reels and shorts, that like they do conform into actual views into the longer videos that we have created, right?
Yeah, because if we're just posting a picture saying, hey, this episode's up, and we don't give anybody a sneak peek of what the episode is about, you find often that there's way less people that are going and clicking the link in your bio to go to your YouTube page and actually watch the full length visual on YouTube,
right? And
unless they see, little snippets of what the episode is.
And it gives them like a sense of like, oh shit, like this is what they're talking about on the podcast. Like let me go check it out. You know
exactly.
And it's really interesting because like majority of the time that, and especially how TikTok like was the one that kind of like nuance this new age of only looking at like 15-second of content and consuming that
has other social media platforms trying to compete with them.
Exactly, because of the one, like TikTok destroy the attention rate of other people out there. Like the majority of people can't even hold a conversation for more than like 15 seconds.
Yes.
It's like, hi, what's your name? Done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that like following the trends do sort of like help, but in some cases don't help. Like I have a case, right, where one of my friends, he makes music, right? And his stuff is really good, right? But he tried to follow a trend that was on TikTok of these transitions, right? And he conformed himself to writing a song about it, right? That it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like his best work, right? And I remember my sister listening to the music and listening to his other stuff. She's like, his other stuff are way better than this. Like, why is he doing that? So I feel like it depends on what craft you're trying to do. Like, I feel music, it can't be something that's trendy. It can't be like, you can't follow the trend and say, oh, like I'm gonna write a song about this because everyone's gonna write a song about this, and it kind of gets stale. It's like, who performs it better,
and then the trend moves on and it's done with.
Exactly, and it moves on, and that's it.
You're constantly trying to follow something that's outside of yourself,
or trying to make something a trend.
Yeah,
I think when you kind of back up and look at the bigger picture, it in itself will become a trend if people click with it. That's what trends are. It's something that people are viewing on a day-to-day basis, and it's pulling like an attraction or an audience to it, right? So conforming to a trend just means you're copying someone's style or what is it that's popular for that period, but will be irrelevant maybe the next day, you know? But sticking to your own style, I feel will have more of a relevance for bigger growth. It's steady and ends up being a lot more fruitful than the quick, let me follow the trend and like I become irrelevant. Like most of the people on TikTok these days, right, where they follow trends and just keep following the trends because it works. Now they're conformed to this specific style because that's what got people to watch their videos in the first place.
And now they're put in a box where they don't feel like they can create content outside of that certain style because that's what they've built themselves up to be known for. But that's not even what they enjoy.
Exactly. So you end up doing like, that's why I also like when I took my social media hiatus is that I was conformed to one certain style. Like I loved doing that style, but like I wanted to explore other styles as well. Like, it's not like trying to follow the trend. It's more or less like everyone's styles differs like every so often, and like just to stick to that style just does get boring sometimes, you know? So I'm not saying try to follow the trend or stick to your style and keep on going at it, but like sometimes you just got to change it up to make your new style and be the better version of you for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. And, you know, you'll find that the more that you create your own style and decide not to put yourself in a box, whatever that means, whether that means trying something new that might be popular at that moment because you actually enjoy the trend that's being done at that moment. Like, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. You know, if you enjoy a certain trend or a popular thing that's going on right now, try it, but make it your own style while you do it, you know, so that at the end of the day, you're still you and you're still creating content that rings true to who you are as a person and what your mission is as a creator. And you don't differ away from that, even if you do decide to simultaneously follow a trend or try out something that is popular amongst social medias at the moment.
Right. So like talking about like different platforms of using the trend versus your own style, like what would you say, like, for example, like, I guess we'll go like one by one. Like, for example, TikTok, it seems to be proven that following the trend is what is working for everyone, regardless of what you are known for, right? People will intend to look at it, laugh a bit, or like be interested in it, but they won't like, I feel like there's no real followers on TikTok. It's just like pressing a button and like, it's like seeing a video once in a while, but like just searching up for the new best thing. There's no real like community there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the only community I feel is more about the people on the comment section just commenting away, and they're not even the same people who follow this certain like creator, you know?
When I think about the comment section of TikTok, I get very angry because I think it's so negative. It's such a negative comment section, such a negative space that like people are so quick to criticize either things or situations or people that they know nothing about or that they know a tiny little sliver of. And I just cannot fathom in terms of TikTok. I can't fathom, like I wouldn't even want to be big on TikTok, to be honest with you. And that's why you'll see on my personal TikTok, I'm not following any trends. I'm not doing any, like, I just do what I like and what feels good to me. And I make little vlogs. And then I also do like, you know, videos with my phone propped up. Like there are many different things that I do on there, but it's all rings true to like who I feel I am as a creator and like what I actually feel passionate about making. But then otherwise, I don't like to follow the trends of TikTok because once you get big on TikTok, the comment section's so negative that I wouldn't even want that myself because I can't fathom somebody just like thinking a negative thought and then actually putting in the effort to type it out and send it to somebody. I can't fathom that. And that's why I just,
that's pretty interesting because
TikTok
like,
is a difficult one.
That's pretty interesting when you say that because like I have a different view about like the only thing I liked about TikTok when I had it was the comment section because like certain like videos like I watch and I'm like, all right, I just got to see how the comment section are. And it's usually like the funniest places to be, but it was never negative. I think
it depends on what kind of content on TikTok that you're consuming.
Right.
So like I end up, you know, my TikTok, I see a lot of like people who are popular on TikTok who literally their entire career was based in TikTok. So their persona and who they are and the TikToks that they've made is what like developed their career. That's what gave them a start. So for those people, it's so hard for me to watch because I love consuming the content just as a consumer, as a viewer. But I look at the comment section and everybody has something to say about that specific person. So I think it depends. I feel like you're watching more like funny videos or like just like stuff that doesn't have to do with like people and people's personalities and people's lives.
I feel like not influencers.
Exactly.
Because the thing is like I'll watch everyday other people do something and you see the comment section saying like something funny. Like I remember it was like talking about like, did anyone notice the kid in the background or something like that?
Yeah, totally.
And it's something like irrelevant about like
no,
the
I
actual
agree with you on that.
Those are the comments when I was consuming the content, that was what I was looking forward to.
I think key phrase is also when you were consuming the content, because you've been off of TikTok for how long now?
I want to say for about, it's probably been 9 months actually.
So TikTok might have changed a little bit since you've
like
been
the
on
platforms change every so often.
Yeah.
So like this is what I'm talking about. Like the trends are gonna keep on like changing and evolving like no matter what. So like that's why like for me like I rather stick to what my styles are and like and what works, right? But I'm not saying to stick to it that like it's literally all you're known for, but like change it up a bit, but like stay true to your principle. Like for example, I remember the time when I was consuming TikTok, a lot of the videos that would work are prank videos, and people who weren't known to do pranks have jumped on that bandwagon and just do pranks. I mean, like, I like doing pranks, but I don't like filming my pranks, to be honest.
Right. It's not something you want to create content from.
Exactly. It's something that I enjoy doing as a person, not for viewerships. The things that I like people to consume are my craft, like what I'm known for, the little funny videos, or not funny videos, but the really cool and interesting videos, or like the pictures that I would edit and like people would be stunned by, or like I remember like seeing the comment section back when I used to post consistently. People like were confused, is that real or not? And I'm like, of course a Pokemon isn't real in there. What are you talking? Or like I forgot what it was. It was like someone asked, oh, how'd you get a fox to stay still like that? I'm like, you can clearly
I remember what picture you're talking about.
I'm like, clearly it's not a fox. It's just a Photoshop. But like it's interesting to see, like, that's what I like to do. It's like that's what I was known for, and like I kept evolving from there and staying true to what it was that I like to create, right? Now on YouTube too, it's interesting because YouTube, you have to follow a certain trend, but it's not a trend necessarily where it's like you create content like what TikTok is doing, right? It's more or less like what works in the niche.
Yes.
And evolving your style to follow a trend that isn't a trend, it's actually your style, if that makes sense.
I think YouTube is a little more intricate because it's more so how you manipulate your own content that still rings true to you, to the YouTube algorithm and what performs well on YouTube.
Right.
So, you know, for example, this podcast, in the past, we were making the same type of content that rings true to us, right? But, for example, we were posting black screens with the titles on them as our thumbnails for a long time. And it got to a point where I was like, I know why this isn't performing well. It's because thumbnails are what draw people into the video. And once we talked about that and we were like, okay, let's get serious about this. Let's start to make thumbnails for every video. Let's start to do this and that. It transformed, and we started seeing growth all of a sudden. It was that combined with using the shorts feature on YouTube, which, yeah, that might be following a trend, but at the same time, it's based off of the content that we've already created that
right.
does
so
ring
just,
true to us.
It's just taking it from one
form to the next.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's that's what I like about like different platform versus TikTok. TikTok, I feel like it's an immature platform.
Yes.
Not necessarily immature as in like sort of like what I mean by immature, not necessarily who's consuming the content.
New.
It's a new platform.
Yes.
So like people like seem to like, oh, let's see what gets big and stuff like that. I feel like YouTube being the way it is and being sort of the second biggest, largest search engine out there compared to Google being the first, is that a lot of people will search up like the things that they're looking for on YouTube because they'll get a video of like what it is, right? So it's really,
people love visuals.
Exactly. So it's using that to the advantage, right? Versus TikTok. I'm not going to go on TikTok. Well, for example, like I'm not going to be searching up, how to fix my toaster on TikTok.
Right.
Versus how to fix my toaster on YouTube. That I'll be more likely to do that versus going on TikTok.
Also, I find that YouTube has like a much more positive comment section. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but in my personal opinion, it's just so much more positive than TikTok. TikTok it's gotten so negative.
I feel like
in recent months.
I feel like if someone's going to go out of their way to hate, they'll do it in the most laziest way possible. So TikTok is the easiest way to be lazy.
Yeah, that is so true.
And
that's
comment,
a great point.
While people who actually generally like to consume the content will actually put the time and effort to post like a good comment.
Yeah, because you're consuming the entirety of the content, not just 15 seconds, 25 seconds,
and
whatever.
It's usually out of context.
Right.
So most of the time, like sometimes I don't hear the video until 5 seconds into the video and I'm like, okay, what the hell did I watch? I have to rewatch the first 5 seconds. And that's actually a trick that TikTok has been doing lately, where they purposely don't have you like listen to the beginning of it just so that they can have you rewatch it. So instead of getting 1 view out of you, they get 2 views out of you. Now see if 1 million people do that, you got 2 million views now.
And not for nothing, a lot of people who consume content on YouTube, not everybody has a YouTube account to be able to actually comment. So if half the people who, or whatever percentage of people who consume content on YouTube that might have a negative thing to say are like, oh damn, like I don't have a YouTube account, like whatever. Okay. And they just keep it to themselves, which is how it should be anyway. But.
Exactly. And those who actually do have a YouTube account, they'll take the time to subscribe and actually like a video and comment.
Consume the content,
like you guys.
Give it a fair shot.
Yeah, exactly. So to wrap this up, trend versus like actual curated styles. I would always go for the curated styles, but it's never wrong to go with a trend as long as it sticks to your principles and your style.
Yeah. Yeah, you can follow what's popular or what's doing well at the moment without compromising your style and the type of content that you want to create.
And who you are as a person.
Yep.
And with that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode a lot, you can hit the subscribe button and the bell button to know when we do post. Also hit a like so we can get more on that algorithm love that YouTube likes.
Yep.
As well as our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook. And the 2 videos that are actually on our faces with our past episodes up on there. And be sure to take a look at the actual video exploration of like our shorts and our actual YouTube content.
Yep.
But with that being said, do you have anything else to close out?
I'm good. This is a
same
great
here.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.